Hello, Miles Mustangs. This is Carolyn, your art lady, bringing you a pet portrait project for you to be able to do a lovely drawing of your pet. So for this project, I have a photograph of our little love bug puppy whose name is Rosie. She doesn't actually belong to me, she belongs to my roommate. And this is a picture of Rosie when she was about, I don't know, 3 months old, maybe 2 or 3 months old. She's kind of a big girl now. She's 18 months old, so she doesn't quite look like this. But if you have a turtle or a cat or a puppy or any other kind of pet, I hope that you will consider joining me in this project. And after you've done your portrait, if your mom and dad are into it, it would be so wonderful if you would put the picture that you made up on the Miles Community Facebook page so that we can all see what you did. So the way I'm going to start this project is to say that in order to do this portrait, you are going to tune into your artist-scientist being. So the thing that an artist and a scientist have in common is that they are both incredible observers. So to help us observe today, I'm going to use a little trick. And what I've done is I've put this photograph of Rosie into what's called a sheet protector. So this is a piece of plastic that has little holes in the side that go in the notebook. If you don't have a sheet protector, you are welcome to use a plastic bag or a piece of plastic you might have around the house somewhere. And the most recommended tool next is a Sharpie. Now, if you don't have a Sharpie, you can try this with a marker or some other kind of pen. I'm not sure it'll work because a Sharpie kind of draws on anything. And what we're going to do with our Sharpie is we're going to observe and then draw the most important and very basic shapes of our pet in order to have a guide to be able to do the drawing of our choice. So what I want you to observe before I draw is the shape of Rosie's face. This is just my little example. You're going to do your own pet, of course. So would you agree that Rosie's face is almost a circle? It seems a little bit ovally, but it's pretty circly. And Rosie has one ear off to the side here. I would say that the shape of Rosie's body is actually kind of like an upside down U. So what you want to do is first observe very carefully your pet photograph. And by the way, you can of course try to draw your pet just looking at your pet, but it's much easier if you have a photograph because then you can really look at these shapes. So the other thing I want you to pay close attention to is the distance between Rosie's eyes, the distance between Rosie's eye and her nose, because these shapes are going to be very important for us. In order to really get those down, I'm going to take my Sharpie now and I'm going to draw right on the plastic of the sheet protector. Okay, so I'll do this quickly. Thank you, Ronnie's going to hold my top. So I'm going to draw the shape of Rosie's head on the sheet protector with my Sharpie. And I'm going to draw the shape of her ear, which is on the side. I'm going to go ahead and draw her little eyes. And I'm going to draw her little nose right here. Annie, you can't talk while I'm doing this, I'm sorry. So then I'm going to draw right on the photograph. I'm going to look for that U shape, that kind of upside down U shape. I'm going to draw a little bit of what I'm seeing through my plastic here. Let's see, there's Rosie's footsie. Okay, all right. And the last thing I'm going to draw, this looks like either Rosie's tail, I think it's Rosie's tail. And I think there's a little bit of her ear up at the top. Okay, so now what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide the photograph out of the sheet protector. And there I have a lovely little line drawing of my friend Rosie. So here's Rosie and here's Rosie. Now, the next challenge is to take a pencil and a piece of paper. If you have art paper at home, great. If you don't, you can just use computer paper. And what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to try as hard as I can to basically copy these shapes onto my piece of paper. And you know, this doesn't have to be perfect, guys. This is just practice. We're just having fun here. And you know, the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. Because the muscle that you're really exercising here is your eye. You're making connections between your eye and your hand, and drawing, like anything else, simply takes practice. The more practice you do, the better you get. So I'm looking at the distance between the eyes. I'm going to try to get the eyes roughly the same distance that they are in my tracing. And I'm going to make my little nose. The nose kind of looks a little bit like a, I don't know, almost like a rectangle. Oops, I don't want Rosie to look like a piggy. All right, now, ooh, and I think this line isn't right. I think I have to make this line go down like this. I don't actually have my eraser with me, but it's very helpful if you bring an eraser to the table when you do this project. The other thing we're going to do is after I'm finished, we're going to look and see how I did. How close did I get to making my drawing look a lot like my tracing? And it doesn't have to be perfect. Please remember that the only way you can learn is to try. I want you to notice the depth of this line. Look how far down that thing goes. That's Rosie's chest right there. Okay, so I'm going to go up, I'm going to go down. And in terms of practice, I want you to know that drawing from real life, meaning go outside, look at a plant, take one of your toys, take a picture of your little brother. I mean, you know, the more you draw from real things, the better you're going to get at this. All right, so now I'm going to take a look and see how did I do. Actually, it's really hard to see my drawing because my drawing is pencil. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Sharpie, and I'm going to go over my pencil lines with my Sharpie so you can see how I did. And I might make a few corrections as I go here. All right, so I'm going to draw this kind of almost circle shape. What's really important, guys, in doing these kinds of exercises is to be sure you're looking, and not just presuming that anything is an actual circle or a square. You want to really look when you're doing a project like this to see, well, what shape is it? Because in this case, the Rosie head wasn't exactly a circle. It was just kind of like a circle, right? That's the real trick to drawing, is observation, careful observation. All right, so I made my tail a little bit too long. All right, and I think I made my eyes a little bit too big. I think my eyes were a little bit too big. All right, I hope I got the distance between the eyes correct, which I'm not sure I did actually. All right, and the nose is kind of like a little square. And if I recall, we could kind of see her nose like that, and you know, probably her mouth looks like this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in some little eyes for Rosie. All right, and now, I don't know if I've quite got it. So the first question is, how did I do in terms of my drawing and my tracing? Oh, I see some things that are slightly different. I think I did close, but it's not quite exactly the same. That's okay. And then the next question is, how close is my tracing, my actual photograph to my little Rosie drawing? Oh, well, close but no cigar, I'd say. I think I have to change the way the eyes look. So Annie's going to give me back the pen now so that I can use the pen. And I'm going to try to see if I can make the eyes look a little bit more like Rosie. I think her eyes are actually a little bit rounder at the bottom. I don't think I quite got the eye right. So that's the cool thing. Even though I'm using Sharpie, I can still make a little bit of adjustments. All right, so the other thing I want to do is I'm going to look. It looks to me like in the picture, Rosie has a little bottom lip showing. There you go. And now, here's what you get to do. Once you've got your drawing that looks like this, you get to decide what you want to do next. And there are lots of options. You can use some markers, and you can turn Rosie into kind of like a cartoon dog with fun, wild color. Or you could take your pencil and you could give her some fur and some more information. Oh, I see something I'm missing. I'm missing Rosie's collar. I'm going to put Rosie's collar in. Can I have the pen back, Annie? Thanks. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little collar in here. It looks like there's a little black thing down here. And she's got a little collar there. And I think in this case she must have had her leash on. It looks like she's got a little pink thing there. Okay. So, there, that's a little better. So I'm going to use pink on her leash, because I think she had a little pink leash on. And she actually had a little pink collar on too. So my invitation to you is, once you've got your wonderful drawing, go ahead and add colored pencil or crayons or a little bit of marker. I'm going to give her a little brown nose. And if you look at the drawing, the photograph, you can see that there's lots of fur here with Rosie. So there's many ways to do that. And one way is just with lots of little lines. So I'm going to give Rosie a little fur. I'm going to give her a little shading above her eye. A little shading in here. Oh, Rosie, you're such a cutie. So go ahead and do a picture of your pet. And if you're very inspired, go ahead and put it either on your class Facebook page or on the Miles Facebook page. We want to see what your pet looks like. Okay, have fun, guys. Can't wait to see your pet. And I'll put a little photograph someplace of this Rosie drawing when it's all done to share with you. Okay, thanks for watching.